Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gobi Fireside Chat. My name is Brian Wong, and I am the moderator today. And today's session, we are very honored to have Tan Sri Dr. Jeffrey Cheah as our very special guest. And the title of today's chat is The Rise of Sunway, Southeast Asia as an Investment Destination. For those who would like to know more information, is really an entrepreneur and a philanthropist. As a business entrepreneur, he is the founder of Sunway Group, one of Malaysia's largest conglomerates with core interests in real estate, construction, education, and healthcare. Its 13 business divisions operate in over 50 locations in the region, supported by a staff of over 16,000. In the realm of philanthropy, Tan Sri is the founder and trustee of Malaysia's largest education-focused social enterprise, the Jeffrey Cheah Foundation. As of 2020, the foundation has disbursed over 530 million ringgit worth of scholarships and grants, and it is Tan Sri's aim to award over 1 billion ringgit worth of scholarships in his lifetime. So clearly a very decorated and inspiring background, Tan Sri Jeffrey. We're so happy to have you here, and now we'd really like to get into a conversation. Given all that you've achieved, both in business and in philanthropy, I would love to just start by asking you, where does this passion for education, healthcare, and sustainable development really come from? I understand that, as a young child, you grew up in a very sort of modest setting, but were impacted by what you saw around you. And I wondered if you could share some of those motivations and also tell us about your journey in building Sunway.
Thank you, Brian, for inviting me to speak. And also thank you for your very impressive introduction of me, but I am very much humbled by what you have said. Now, to answer your question, I grew up in a small town in the north of Kuala Lumpur, about 200 kilometers away, a small town called Puseng. During that time, I witnessed firsthand the impact of poverty on families and how it closed off avenues of advancement, especially in education for the children. And I saw how it deprived many of my childhood friends the opportunity to pursue their education. And the small town called Puseng back then was largely a tin mining town. You could not fail to notice the ugly scars on the landscape of disused mining ponds left by the destructive mining activities by the British. Poverty and environmental damage are not abstract concepts for me, but part of my personal experience. Mm-hmm. It formed my conviction that education provides the best route out of poverty and misery, and that sustainable development is vital to the future well-being of our nation and the world, in fact. Our flagship, Sunway City Kuala Lumpur, was actually founded on the concept of sustainable development. About 4 decades ago, Sunway City Kuala Lumpur was a barren land of disused and abundant mining pools. While others saw a deep scar in the earth, I have a very different vision. In fact, even my friends call me crazy for trying to do what I wanted to do, to rehabilitate this ex-mining land and build an integrated township that houses educational institutions, commercial entities, a very big and reputable medical center, retail and leisure outlets, and residential neighborhoods that serves a vibrant community of more than 200,000 people living, studying, working, and playing in a safe, connected, and healthy environment. Without being boastful, perhaps what we have achieved was best summed up by the late Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, the former Prime Minister of Singapore, told me when he was here with a wife, spent a day, and before he left, he said, "How wonderful, Jeffrey, you have transformed a wasteland into a wonderland." Although I'm an accountant by training, I realized I was bored with accounting work. I realized I have an entrepreneurial mindset. And of course, I want to be my own boss. So I quit my job at a model assembly plant and venture into my own business. Sunway started out as a small tin mining business in 1974. And over the years, we have grown into one of Malaysia's largest conglomerates. We have more than 16,000 staff, as you have said, and we have 50 locations primarily across Asia. Sunway has 13 business divisions, and we rank among the top 3 in the business sectors we are involved in. We have grown to our current size by upholding our 3 very important core values: integrity, humility, and excellence. Together with these core values, we are also committed to meritocracy and diversity in operating our businesses. We seek out and hire talent regardless of nationality, age, gender, or greed. What we value is character and expertise with good values. It is not easy at first. We were not very well known and had yet to build a reputation. But we started the course, and today Sunway is a highly respected and well-known brand. It is a factor that, among others, has brought world-renowned institutions such as Cambridge, Harvard, Oxford, and MIT to enter into partnership with us. In short, winning the war for talent has become a little easier for us. And I believe that companies that do not embrace meritocracy and diversity will have a harder time attracting and retaining talent. Incidentally, I am also the co-founder of the 30% Club in the Malaysian chapter. Our mission is to ensure that women comprise at least 30% of the board of directors and senior management of public listed companies. We are always looking out to venture into new growth sectors and businesses. Our commitment to entrepreneurship and sustainability ensures that we do not fail into complacency. And at Sunway City, Kuala Lumpur, we have built a physical and social ecosystem that foster entrepreneurship and a creative environment for solving of real-world problems in real time. And the presence of 3 universities, commercial entities, and our medical center has turned Sunway City into a living laboratory and a testbed for innovative ideas. And I am particularly proud that Sunway City Kuala Lumpur has been selected as one of the 3 flagship United Nations Sustainable Development Solution Networks, UNSDSN in short, centers alongside New York City and Paris. And the 3 global centers will oversee continent-wide sustainable development initiatives for Asia, the Americas, and Europe, as well as Africa, respectively. The UN SDSN Center for Asia, housed at Sunway University, will also host the head office of the SDG Academy, the education arm of the UN SDSN. The SDG Academy at Sunway University will play a fundamental role in Mission 4.7, a new global initiative launched by Pope Francis in December 2020. And this Mission 4.7 seeks to accelerate implementation of SDG Target 4.7 by all governments in the world. The goal is to ensure that our youth acquire the knowledge, skills, values, and attributes needed to achieve the 17 SDGs. And I'm delighted to be one of the 3 co-chairs of Mission 4.7 alongside other world leaders.
Tan Sri, that is an amazing story and an amazing outcome. It's inspirational to hear all that you have achieved in the time that you started your business. But also, I think you're a true role model to many entrepreneurs, not only in the region, but in the world. And I have a few questions I want to dwell on just a bit before we move on to another topic. The first is, as you described your life, you started out as an accountant, and then you decided to start your company, Sunway. There are many hurdles you had to overcome. And most would say an accounting career is one that's quite safe, it's quite conservative. But to become an entrepreneur is a massive leap into a whole different sort of mindset. And I wondered what gave you the courage to actually make that switch. And two, how did you come up with this vision that was probably ahead of its time? The Sustainable Development Goals hadn't been announced yet, but you already created a project that epitomizes that concept.
I suppose it's in my gene, but I just cannot sit still. And I don't like to report to anyone. I want to be my own boss. How do you get there unless you become an entrepreneur? And being an accountant, accountants basically are very conservative people. Normally, they look at a project with a very short-term view. But I think for me, I take a much longer-term view. And of course, risk-taking is in my blood. And I dare to take risk. And I know that if I fail, I will have to pick up the pieces and try again. But we need good core values. You have to be very, very upfront and transparent and not in denial. Most important, if one were to make mistake, which I have made a lot. It's just like a small boy learning how to walk. You fall, you get up, and you walk again. In the early days, I don't have a brand. I'm just Jeffrey Cheah. It's not easy. I know I have to walk the talk, go on site, and work very hard and be a good leader to those people who follow me and show leadership example to gain their respect and loyalty. So we hope to be Asia Model Corporation for Sustainable Development, which is very important to all of us in Sunway. And we know that the climate change is bad. And if we don't do something now, our future generation will suffer. So yes. I think this is something as human, we have to do our part to help the world to secure a better future for our future generation.
So Tan Sri, you've mentioned climate change, you've talked about education, a little bit about healthcare. I want to talk a little bit about digital initiatives. I know that the pandemic has really accelerated the momentum of digital transformation in many areas. I know Malaysia is very much embracing this change, both from a government standpoint, the entrepreneurs as well. So I wondered if you could share some ways that Sunway is innovating within healthcare and education in utilizing sort of digital technology as a way to push forward many of these industries today.
Yeah, indeed, the pandemic that we have here, in the whole world, it has accelerated digital transformation of not just our company, but the economy of our nation as well. It is very clear that business as usual will no longer apply in the post-pandemic world. Now, I think I am a member of the Economic Action Council of the present government, and the Prime Minister has been always pushing. In fact, in every meeting, he emphasized that how important it is for us to digitalize all our processes. The lockdown, students are not allowed to go to school. They have to use online learning and teaching. So this is something that is very good for us. So Sunway already was ramping up our digitalization efforts even before the pandemic, I must say. This initiative include implementing private cloud, big data analyticals, e-invoicing, and chat bots into our system to increase productivity. We have constantly invested in resources and infrastructure to ensure that our people have the tools needed to work efficiently and productively anytime and anywhere. The ultimate goal of course, for all these initiatives is to break down silos, enhance communication, promote inclusivity, and enable seamless implementation of solutions. One example of this is that we are building a super app that will integrate and harness the synergies of our 13 business divisions. This has allowed us to minimize the disruption that were brought by the pandemic. And on the strategic front, we will continue to pursue growth in adjacent businesses, both organically and by acquisitions. Given our major presence in the education sector, all education institutions that we have are all owned and governed by the Cheah Foundations. Now, the pandemic actually has forced us to review how education is delivered and how it should be adapted to the digital age. We have thoroughly re-examined where, how, and what we taught and adapted it to an online environment. We also rapidly scale up our challenges to ensure that our students continue to receive quality education. We currently partner with Eco42, a French tech school that breaks new grounds in education by offering peer-to-peer learning with zero tuition fees. And Eco42 KL is set to play a major role in equipping our young people with the skills and aptitude to drive digital economy. And the 42 campus in Sunway City, Kuala Lumpur is one of the first such campuses in Southeast Asia. And as I have mentioned earlier, Sunway has also established partnership with world-renowned universities, including Cambridge, Oxford, and Harvard, as well as the University of California, Berkeley, and MIT in Boston. We have a partner with Cambridge to set up a clinical research center here. And hopefully next year, we just got the license for Sunway University Medical School, which the curriculum will be drawn up by Cambridge Medical School, and it will be strictly supervised by Cambridge. And when student graduates, they will receive a certificate with the Cambridge logo on the certificate, endorsed with a very powerful wording from Cambridge University. This is the first such venture of Cambridge outside the UK, which is very, very interesting to us. And I believe that we will be providing a Cambridge type of medical school training for Southeast Asian students in Sunway City here. And of course, we are also currently working in collaboration with MIT to conduct research on material science and carbon capture. My perception of quality education is benchmarked against the top tier institution around the world, which is why I'm determined to continue to forge partnerships with world-renowned institutions. I believe that to be the best, we need to learn from the best and work with the best. My dream is Sunway University to one day become known as Harvard or Cambridge of the East. In terms of healthcare innovations, we recently established the Health Innovation Hub in Sunway City, Kuala Lumpur, which is the first of its kind in Malaysia. This is a joint initiative by Sunway iLabs and AstraZeneca that aims to construct a network of partnership that will work to solve and scale and showcase innovative and holistic health solutions across the region. And it is our vision for the HIH to create and strengthen partnership to accelerate health innovation, increase access to healthcare, and deliver a truly patient-centric disease management. Other notable innovation includes the contactless COVID-19 testing port, which was built by Sunway Medical Center and Sunway iLabs when the pandemic first attacked. This allowed our healthcare front lines to conduct testing in a safer and more efficient manner. And our smart partnerships and smart sustainable township, Sunway City, Kuala Lumpur, is now set to be the testbed for Sunway Living Laboratory, aimed at generating real-world solutions in real time. And we have also put in place the fundamental building blocks such as quality education and healthcare, world-class research, presence of educated young talent, which is very important, and of course, commercial entities. And we have created a holistic environment combining intellectual firepower, applied research, creative energy, and entrepreneurship mindsets that makes Sunway City hopefully similar to the Silicon Valley. Thank you.
Ansari, thank you for that. And that's a sterling list of academic institutions from all over the world that you have partnered with. I think it says a lot about the quality that Sunway has achieved in such a short time. I would say the measurement of success really comes when Harvard says that they are the Sunway of the West, Sunway University of the West. So you mentioned iLabs as one of your initiatives, and I know that that's really focused on entrepreneur sort of development. I mean, with good education, then comes good entrepreneurs. And I wondered, what are some of the areas or sectors of focus for you at Sunway that you hope these entrepreneurs will apply their skills and their knowledge, and how you're fostering this entrepreneurship through such programs like iLabs?
Yeah, iLabs, I think we formed the iLabs a couple of years down the road. And I know that, there are lots of young talent out there who are, very, very eager to test their creative mind. And how to do it, I thought that it's good that we set up the iLabs for free for this as both an incubator and accelerator in fostering entrepreneurship. And by nurturing promising startups, it also helps stimulate market-driven solutions to real-world challenges. So since then, it has made a significant contribution to its field.
Yes.
And our larger vision is for the iLabs to become ASEAN's leading integrated innovation platform for startups, and then functioning within Sunway City's vibrant ecosystem. And I know that these young people are our future. If we educate them well, and give them all this ecosystem to excel what they have in mind, what they have learned and what they have dreamed to be, and all this, I think we are doing the right thing for this population, for this young talent. Now, I think in terms of sectors, we are focusing on 6 verticals: edutech, food and agriculture tech, which we have done a lot already. We are going into a big way into agriculture to secure food security. And we already just got the license from the government, and we will be selling. Nowadays, people are very concerned about taking all this chemical into our
Sure.
guts and our body. And that's where a lot of cancer happen, cancer growth happen. So I think it is something that we want to do. And the digital health, of course, and smart city, which we are building 3 now, and the e-commerce, which we are already quite well versed in that, and the fintech, of course, fintech. The government Malaysia will be giving out 5 licenses for this purpose, and we will be one of the contender. Hopefully, we will get one. We will be one of them. And we believe these verticals have a huge potential as future growth areas.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
also aligned with Sunway Group's own strength and our commitment to sustainable development.
Yes. That's great.
Yeah.
So, as we think about all that you've done, Tan Sri, around these areas, I mean, your business achievements alone are already something that most would dream of accomplishing in a lifetime. But on top of that, you've added your whole philanthropic sort of initiatives around education and healthcare and climate change. You used the term compassionate capitalism in the past. You talked about the 3 Ps: people, planet, prosperity. I wondered if you can sort of describe a little bit more your thinking on this and how this has been a key thread in your decisions as you kind of move forward in your life, both as a business person, but also a philanthropist.
Now, I think we all know if you have a healthy planet, you have healthy people. If you don't have a healthy planet, you know what will happen. If we destroy Mother Earth, people living here will also be unhealthy. We'll be eating all kinds of rubbish, and climate change and many other things will happen that is detrimental to our health and well-being.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what we are doing here, my hope is to inspire others to do the same, so that if everybody is helping to do it, we can make it a very big volume, a very big things that we hope to be able to deliver. My inspiration and my tagline has always been, I aspire to inspire before I expire. So before I expire, I hope to be able to inspire. There are lots of good, rich, and powerful people around, but they are only doing it for a very close circle of things for themselves or for their family. But they should do more for society. That's what I'm trying to do. And that's why I told them I have taken pains in building Sunway Education Group, and it's very successful. I could easily list it, and I'll be a few billion ringgit richer. But what is that for?
Yeah.
If we don't contribute back to society and make people more learned, more intelligent, so that we know how to live a happy life, and don't destroy planet Earth. And that's what I want to do. It's not easy, but hopefully one day people will be inspired by what we are doing. That's why my second core value is humility.
Yes.
And whatever, how successful we are, we cannot be cocky. We cannot be, think that you are the best and, don't care too good about all the others. No, in some way, we are always learning. It's so important for us to do well by doing good. That is something that we must always have in mind.
Well, Tan Sri, I can tell you that from my view, and I'm sure I'm not alone at all, that you embody so much of what you talked about, whether it's the values of integrity, humility, excellence, or the aspirations of the SDGs. My prior time when I was with Alibaba for almost 20 years, we talked about the same issues about how it's so important to give back to society. But I also know how challenging it is to do that in a world that has so many things that are broken or the mindset is not yet aligned. And you are a shining example of someone who has been able to combine both the business and the societal good into one formula and actually do excel and succeed in both areas because of that combination. And I think that the role model that people should really be looking at is how you've been able to achieve both because of these values and these beliefs and the aspirations that you've set forth. Malaysia as a country has played a historical role in bringing together many parts of the world from the east to the west. It's also been a key route in terms of commerce and trade. Today, we talk about the digital economy and how it's so important to embrace this transformation. But I wondered if you have a vision for what the role Malaysia can play in the global stage as a role model, as a catalyst for these issues that you feel so strongly about.
Well, I think Malaysia as a country is very well positioned for international trade and a lot of shipping passes through the Malacca Straits and all this. But I think now with digitalization, things will be much easier if we get it right. So, of course, we do have our fair share of problem in terms of politics here, and we hope to be able to overcome that into the not too distant future, and we have got great potential. My hope is all about having the right talent, right people in the right place into the future, and I really hope that Malaysians are getting more and more aware of this, more educated. They will know who to vote for and put the right people to govern them and to lead them.
Yes.
And I think that will augurs well for Malaysia into the future. Of course, I have great hope, and I feel confident that this will happen, and or else I won't be here.
Yes.
So it's fortunate that we don't have any upheaval on the street, civil riots and all these things. We are getting more and more mature, and ASEAN is growing very fast. We want to be part of that process, and hopefully we can lead in this process, in digitalization. Yeah.
So Tan Sri, I believe that you quoted an old Chinese saying that said, if your plan is for 1 year to plant rice, if your plan is for 10 years to plant trees, and if your plan is for 100 years to educate children. That was something you mentioned. And I personally want to thank you for investing in 100 years time frame, a long-term investor, because my two daughters, or I have one daughter and one on the way, will greatly benefit from what you are doing today. Yeah. So thank you so much for your time. This was a wonderful conversation. And we really do look forward to what Sunway and your foundation will bring to the world as we move forward.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Brian. It's wonderful talking to you. Hopefully, I have imparted a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of help to the viewers of what Sunway is all about, and what my dream and vision will be into the future.
Yes.
And I have not finished yet. I've got Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.